A big trait that I feel I've been missing lately has been confidence and high self-esteem. As a child growing up, I know I had a lot of confidence and I got to try a lot of things and was so certain of who I was. Now that I'm 24, I feel like I'm not as confident in my abilities or anything in life. I feel like I've gotten hurt by being myself too much to the point where I keep her inside to protect her. But maybe I'm hurting her. Hi everyone, my name is Erika and welcome to Erika's Everything. Hi! I tried light work for 30 days and this time I think I'm prepared to embark on the journey of trying shadow work for 30 days. And now I think I am ready enough and prepared enough to embark on this 30-day adventure into shadow work. So shadow work is dealing with the shadow side of yourself, things that you repress, things that you don't normally put out there, or things that you keep hidden about yourself. And maybe parts of ourselves that we might feel a little ashamed of, and maybe even parts of our past that we are a little ashamed of or that we haven't really fully come to accept about ourselves. That could be difficult to face if you are not mentally prepared to face it yet. And it's definitely dealing with a lot of traumas that you might have, and it might be dealing with insecurities that you have. So because of that, it's not something to face lightly. So shadow work is definitely necessary to develop self-love. You need to accept all of yourself. Okay, you guys, I just completed the 30-day shadow work journaling challenge, and this one was really tough. I feel like this one definitely had a different tone set to it. It was just a whole different vibe to the light work journaling challenge that I did. I highly recommend checking out that video because of the fact that the light work is definitely a lot lighter, and then the shadow work one is definitely a lot heavier. So this challenge is totally unique to you and it's up to you how you want to take it. But for me, when I was doing this challenge, I wanted to go all in. So the deeper you go, the more it will hurt.
That's what she said.
However deep you want to take it is totally up to you, and it's however you feel comfortable doing it. But I do know that if you do take it on a deep level and you let the emotions come in, and if you let the emotions kind of guide you, you kind of do allow yourself to feel your feelings and feel the pain and the sorrow that comes with some of these questions. It will teach you about your own wounds that you have yet to fully heal from, or just wounds that you're still carrying. And I think that is a good thing to know about yourself is what subjects are touchy for yourself, because then you'll be able to be more in control of what to stay away from and what actually to go towards. I found for me that if the questions do get too deep and you start to feel yourself spiraling a little bit downward, or you start to bully yourself and put yourself down just in your thoughts, or it might be something you write down, and I think that's perfectly normal because I feel like we all have an inner voice that's always very mean and quick to judge. So when this happens, I would definitely take a break and remember that positive reinforcement is much more effective than negative reinforcement. So what I like to do when this did happen, or when I found myself spiraling a little bit downward or just not being the nicest to myself during this challenge, is I would write down encouraging words or phrases that I felt like I needed to hear. Or I would write in a future tense, such as phrases like, I will overcome this, or I will get better, as more of making promises to myself rather than putting myself down.
Yes, the past can hurt. But the way I see it, you can either run from it
or learn from it.
So the Lightwork Challenge was us creating our dream future, and it had more of a creative writing aspect, as there were no wrong answers. And I feel like when you do focus on like the future brings with it the power of creativity, and it has the power of like the unknown, where it has like the power of uncertainty. Because nothing is concrete in the future, it feels like all possibilities are available. And with that, I feel like that becomes like the creative side of it, where our brain is able to imagine wonderful scenarios. With this writing challenge, it was completely different. As we turned away from the future, we focused on our past, on how we became who we are today, rather than who we want to become. So this challenge, it felt at times like I was putting myself under a microscope or looking at myself in the mirror. And I had to be honest with myself, because you can't lie to yourself when you know it's a lie. You know what I mean? Like, this one really had you focusing on all your past mistakes and also just focusing on your past self. And I feel like when we do look at our past, we also get to see the lessons that our past has taught us. And you also have to forgive yourself, and you need to tell yourself that you know better now. The biggest promise you can break to yourself is not reaching your highest potential. I used to think the universe was working against me and that it wanted to get in my way. But now I see that it works with me and for me. I needed to learn certain lessons in life that happened to be painful but necessary, such as fake friends, empty promises, betrayal, loss, loneliness, sadness, anger, and fear. It will all be worth it one day. So for me, this challenge, some days were harder than others, because some of these questions would hit a little closer to home, or you would realize that a certain subject is a little too painful for you to kind of relive and reanalyze, and for you to think about and write about in our memories. And I think it's okay to give yourself some time to grieve or to be emotional. What I would say is, don't be afraid to work through it and feel out all those emotions that do arise during this challenge. And it is totally okay for you to take a break and walk away from it and then come back to it later. I know that some of these questions that did come up, they did require like a really good cry. And I do think that a cry is very necessary and needed in the whole process of healing. It really is kind of like a grieving moment. And it's kind of weird because you are kind of healing and grieving for yourself. Growing up, I used to think that the world was against me if anything didn't go my way. Now that I'm older, I have changed my view on that and recognize that there are lessons to be learned and that there are silver linings in all of this. I think now it all happened for a reason that I may not understand, and I'm glad that I'm not in that place anymore. Healing is definitely not linear. Some days you will feel like you are making progress and that you feel confident and healed. But then other days, those same things will weigh very heavy on you. And I feel like this doesn't mean that you haven't healed or progressed. Anything in life, especially healing, requires consistency. I feel like each day's progress will be different. Some days you'll progress and gain a new perspective or have like a mini breakthrough. Other days you'll feel like you haven't improved and that you're kind of stuck in this same thought cycle. So like some days I would write about a certain topic and I would be like, oh, I have it all under control. Like, this is exactly why that happened and this is what I learned from it, and I feel a lot better and I forgive myself. But then a different day, it'll be the same topic, but then I just won't be able to feel like I've conquered it. It'll feel like I still have something left unsaid, or it'll feel like, oh, I wish I did something different, or it'll feel like some sort of regret or some sort of anger would still arise, being like, oh, like, why did that happen to me? Like, life isn't fair. Why did that situation happen the way it did? Was there anything I could do to fix it? You can't fix what happened in the past. The only thing you can fix is the way you view it. Just when you think that you're in good high spirits and that you feel like everything is sunny and warm, this challenge might have moments where you dip into sort of a cloudy phase. And that's kind of what happened to me during this challenge, especially with the weather. There were days where it was very cloudy, and I remember it was raining during some days of this challenge. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm someone who doesn't really like the rain. I am definitely more of a summer type of person, and the rain just kind of makes me feel kind of sad. It did kind of feel like a wet and cold environment, and when it is raining, I feel more alone. The colors of the world are kind of gone just because it's all gray. It's not as vibrant, just not as hopeful. But after every storm comes a rainbow, and I think that is amazing. The part after the rain is always beautiful. There's a whole new life to things, and there's a whole new vibrancy to things. Everything just feels like it comes back to life after the rain. Like, you start to see how green everything is once it's been rejuvenated and refreshed with water and rain. You start to see how blue the sky is, and you start to see how beautiful the clouds are and how fluffy they look. And you just start to smell how like fresh the air is, and it just feels like a cleanse. Rain and sadness are necessary because there's parts of you that need that sadness to grow and heal and to feel alive. That's why some people love sad music, to take in that pain and sadness, to feel something. And after the rain, you get a deeper appreciation for the sunshine. Sometimes you need to feel the bad to truly appreciate the good in life. If life was always sunny, you wouldn't appreciate the rain. You never know what you have until it's gone. You kind of have to take the bad with the good, because the good only feels as good as if you experienced the bad, if that makes sense. You kind of gain a deeper appreciation for how good things are and how good things are in life when you have actually experienced the pain in life. I am working on being more authentic and being myself more. In order to be yourself, you need to be comfortable with those around you, and you need to be confident in knowing who exactly you are. The cool part about this is that you can change it whenever you want. You are not bound to your old ways, nor are you a singular thing. You are ever changing, ever growing, ever evolving. Through this challenge, it really showed me that you need to be an ally and a friend to yourself. And this challenge definitely helped with establishing a better relationship with myself. So I really do feel like this challenge helped me to get to know myself a lot more. That's the reason why I did those things in the past. And it's I know better now, and it's just you did what you could with what you had at the time and the knowledge that you had at the time. So you need to cut yourself some slack. This challenge makes it really easy to nitpick yourself and to put yourself down and to kind of just focus on your past mistakes only, and just kind of your insecurities and your faults. The important thing is that I pick myself back up and I didn't just leave myself there on the ground. And it's just that kind of really established a friendship with myself. You wouldn't talk to your friend that way, so why do you talk to yourself that way? So you really do have to be a friend to yourself and talk to yourself as if you were talking to one of your best friends, rather than talking to yourself how you talk to your own self. Become your own best friend. You have to really actually like yourself, you know? And I think that's what this challenge kind of taught me, is how to like myself and how to love myself a little bit more deeper. You know, when everything seems like it's against you, when you have those days where nothing is going your way, then you need to know that you have you in your corner. A big thing about this challenge, and this whole video in general actually, is that I feel like I kind of let the idea of perfection get in the way of this one. I feel like I knew that I had something that I wanted to make, and something that I wanted it to be done a certain way, and I wanted it to be more on the side of this idealized perfect version that I had in my head. But after going through this challenge, and after sitting down to try to film and gather all my thoughts on this, I think I kind of realized that I need to kind of let go of that perfect idealized version of what this video could have been, and just make a video and just make something and just create something that I'm proud of. So I think those were all the thoughts that I had on this challenge. This challenge was definitely something that I think was definitely necessary. Was it really hard to get through some days? Yes, for sure. It really did help to heal certain parts, and it really did help to show me what parts are still sore subjects. how did we grow up and how did that form us into who we are today? And like, oh, how did our parents impact us? Like, what kind of person do I want to be? And like, are we holding on to like past beliefs that we probably should let go of? It really was like a check-in with myself, and I don't think I've ever really done that. So this was a really good check-in point to be able to finally lift some of that weight off of my own shoulders. So I think that pretty much wraps up this video, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll just see you guys in the next one, okay? Bye!